Hey, this is your host, Trent Johnson with the Ocoee High School Stories podcast, and I'm here with
Zach,
Jackson,
Cleveland,
Jonathan,
and Theo.
And today we're going to be talking about high school fights, or as we just coined it, academic combat. So, question I want to ask you guys is, have you ever witnessed like a very brutal fight, like one that's kind of stayed with you?
Actually, yes, I want to go first. This was back at Robbinswood during my 8th grade year. It was at least 6 dudes fighting each other in the hallway that I was in. And it didn't end too well because one dude got stomped out and the other one, like, somebody picked up a fire extinguisher and hit a dude across the head with it, and then the fire extinguisher went off. And and all this stuff went across the hallway, so then we had to get escorted out and wait in the cafeteria for like a good hour.
It was also 8th grade for me, and also at Robbinswood Middle School. It was in the middle of the year, a typical day, and then you just see like 20 people start fighting. It was, I don't know how to explain it, but you just see people start swinging, and just everyone's just joining in, and I think we almost got Grad Venture taken away from us that year.
All right, Grad Venture got taken away from us.
Wow.
I remember that.
I remember in 8th grade. I've seen a couple fights, but I remember in 8th grade, it was after lunch, and I was leaving the cafeteria going towards the gym. And I remember I was with my buddy, and he was there, like to my right, like a second ago, and I look back and like he's gone. I just see like 2 swarms of people. It was like Hispanic kids versus black kids. Like there was only like one fight that really happened. The rest was just like pushing and shoving. But I just remember that, just like seeing 2 factions just running into each other.
There are 2 more fights that actually stuck with me. One is a bit more recent. It was earlier this year. Pretty much, this Mexican kid called this kid the N-word with a hard R, and it was on the trail. I think you guys heard about this one already, and they brutally, pretty much, clapped him. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but they beat him down, and apparently one of the other kids had a gun. Yeah.
The sad truth is most fights, especially in, this area, I guess, mostly have to do with, like, race. Like, the one type of kids hang out with one type, the other hangs out with the other type, and that's how fights happen a lot. Hopefully y'all get my euphemisms anyway.
Wait. Zach didn't talk.
No, go ahead.
You don't have any fights?
I do, but go ahead.
Okay, this is Jacob. I just wanted to come on and say I remember, I think like in 7th or 8th grade, I wasn't at Ocoee High yet, but I remember seeing this news article that someone got hit here or someone got like attacked with a machete here.
Oh, I remember that.
I think that counts as a fight.
That was an interesting thing. That was my freshman year. That was interesting.
Can you tell me a bit more about that? Do you know anything?
It was just a regular day. I forgot what period we were in, and I think we went on lockdown. I don't remember exactly.
Really?
I think we did, yes. Because he actually got like hit with the machete, and it was because the kid brought the machete into the bathroom, and then it just happened. So,
well, that's a shame.
This is Jahmell, and also it happened like in 2nd or 3rd. I think it's like in 4th grade. I was outside, my own business, playing around like a free kid I am, and then this guy just come up to me, say, "Bro, you messed with my girlfriend." I was like, "What girlfriend?" It was this tall person. I was like, this tall girl. I was like, "Oh, that one." So I was like, he wanted to fight me. So I was like, "No." I thought to my mind. I thought in my mind, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to fight this person." But that's not the answer. So at the end of the story, I got my nuts clapped and also. I'm just true. I got clapped instantly. I felt so sad. I was just lying on the floor. Oh my god. I'm dying.
We're keeping that.
no. Zach.
Cut my nuts.
Jahmell.
Realize what happens here. Now, if we wanted to put this show out, that means somebody's got to do the work to go back, find that, and cut So, you say if you save that stuff for not here, not on, not when you're recording. Because just think, now, well, obviously there's a problem with the show, and we can't put it out there. So just think about that next time. I mean, I know you want to entertain the people in the class, but come on.
I understand.
All right, we'll talk about this.
How do I even follow up with that? It's
We just forget it ever happened.
Exactly.
What were we talking about before?
We're just talking
We're-
about experiences with like
Okay.
witnesses.
I
Okay,
got one.
Zach didn't
I
tell
got
you.
one. So this is back in sophomore year, so last year, and there was these two girls that they were like right kind of in the middle of the courtyard, and I was over on the wall eating my lunch and stuff, and I just saw this girl pull the other girl's hair, and they just started swinging at each other, and then all of a sudden just this mob of people just come in and start recording stuff, and then I can't really see the rest of it, but like it's just crazy to me that as soon as a fight breaks out, nobody tries to go and break it up. They just go in and try to record it.
Yeah, and that kind of leads to another question. How do you guys react when you guys see a fight?
Wait, I didn't tell my story.
Oh, sorry.
My bad. So, I mean, I saw a lot of fights. I went to a different school my freshman year, Evans, in case and honestly, there weren't that many fights. I mean, from what I've seen, because I was like in a different, like I was on the top level, and there were the fights were all like between classes and stuff.
Weren't your principal like super strict too?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
uniforms and stuff?
yeah.
And Evans, they had they like kept their freshmen away from their other classes, right?
Nah, that's IB kids.
Oh,
They kept the IB kids like away from the other kids. But yeah, I didn't see that many fights, but there was this one fight with these two girls. This is weird, but one fight with these two girls, and like never mind. Never mind.
Okay. You sure you don't want to tell it?
No.
it's probably too explicit.
Actually,
Yeah.
Actually, let me
Main
say
reason.
one more fight, because this one was something I remember. It was back during the 6th grade. Now, these two girls, they really didn't like each other, and it was during science class during first period. And I don't know what happened, but they ended up fighting, and I don't even know how, but they somehow flipped the table while trying to fight each other. And it freaking went on somebody's foot.
Oh, that
So
has to hurt.
so not only do you have a casualty of a broken foot, you also have a casualty of a girl getting like half her hair ripped off.
The fact that you use casualty and broken foot and hair ripped off, that's not a good mix.
Exactly.
I'm
It's
picturing a crime scene right now.
Hair ripped off, broken foot.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can go.
I just have a question for you all about fights in general. So hypothetically, let's say like you all were in a fight. What would you do exactly? Like, would you defend yourself? Well,
When
Yeah, I'll
elaborate
win.
with that, because I mean, there's many different variables with fights. I mean, like, would you just run away?
No.
No.
Would you,
Not at all.
Would you defend yourself? I
I'ma
mean,
get my-
Yeah, I
there's-
agree
and
with.
also, what you also have to consider is the code of conduct kind of exists. So I mean, if you hit back, oops, level 3 for you. But if you like defend yourself, I mean, I don't know, Mr. Gobb, correct me if I'm wrong, but does that count? Or?
Okay, I will give my honest answer on how I would respond to that. It honestly depends. If I'm fighting somebody like me or Jonathan's height, I'll just, fight back. That's just regular. But if I'm fighting somebody's Jackson height, I have one square shot to end it all. That's
You
all I
can't
gotta
say that, bro. You have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah,
You
like
can't be like, oh, he's taller, I'm gonna just back away.
There's-
I said I had one square shot to end it.
there's times where I cannot lose my pride. So I rather I pretty much get hurt trying than not try at all. So like, if I did have to be in a conflict like that, I would fight. I would try to win at least.
Yeah.
I agree with Jackson and Jonathan like very much, because it's different in high school. I feel like I've mellowed out. I've tried to avoid fights, but in Robbinswood you couldn't like avoid it, and that's why all my fights happened there, because you had to stand up for yourself or you're gonna get targeted.
You're just gonna get bullied.
So, but in ocoee it's different, because if you avoid it, then like that person will have beef with you because the next person wants beef with them. But in Robbinswood, people look for you to start something. If you don't start something, they know they can keep picking on you. So I agree with Jackson and Jonathan where you have to stand up for yourself.
And I don't know, to explain myself, like if you can walk away, like I try to be reasonable. Like if I can walk away, I'll walk away. But like Jonathan said, like if it's in the moment and like it's happening, like gotta defend myself, gotta fight back.
Listen, I've never been in a fight before, so it's hard for me to say what I would do, but I know what I can do is just avoid conflict, avoid beef with anybody.
Yeah.
That's just something that that's what I try to do.
That's really what I do. And at the end of the day, I am a short person. So I am a target at times. So yeah, you just gotta kind of learn how to like de-escalate situations, I guess, and not try to fight battles. But if it does come to fighting battles, you have to do what you have to do.
And before we move on to Smith's story, on your code of conduct thing you also mentioned, I feel like in the moment, like Jackson said, it doesn't matter. All you want to do is just
your
defend yourself.
your adrenaline gets to you. You're not gonna worry about the code of conduct.
Well,
Like the code of conduct is not gonna come in the back of your head in that moment.
well, I'm a person who just like follows the rules like intently. It's like if I like think I did something wrong, I'll be like, okay, let me just check this, make sure like I didn't do anything wrong. Like I've probably like read that thing like 8 or 9 times like in the last 4 years, just because like I was scared to death. And also like I've avoided, I'm sorry Smith, I'm an embarrassment. So like I've avoided fights, and I just don't see the purpose in it. And like also if I did, then like 10 days, oops, bye-bye. So yeah, I've really just never gotten into it, honestly, because and if the day comes where some dude is just like, hey, let's square up, then I'm just gonna have to run away, because like
Just sit on him.
yeah, because there's a really fine line between self-defense and actual attacking, and I feel like the two could get mixed up. And like if you like pin someone down, then like that someone could be like, oh my god, he's attacking him, 10 days, get him, or some variant of that. But
I find it funny that you talk about the rules and getting like suspended because of a fight, but I feel like the way most people look at fights is like a pride thing. Like they don't care about what's gonna happen to them in the future. They care about what's gonna happen to them in the present.
Yeah, is literally just a pride thing. Like if they can look cool for like 10 minutes, they'll do it.
Nah, I don't really care about that, man. I care about my personal safety, and I care about coming back here, man. That's all I would care about.
Well, Jacob, if you run away, like that person may target you, and like your personal safety is even more threatened now, instead of just getting in one fist fight.
Oh my god, this man ran away from a fight. What a coward! Like I really
people
don't
do that.
I don't care. You can pick on me all you want, man. It's not going to change the fact that you're the aggressor, and you're the one who's not intelligent enough to resolve your differences, to resolve a conflict professionally. You're the one who's like, oh my god, dude, let's throw hands right now. Let's do it. Come on. No, you're the person who's just like, yeah, come on. You got to be the bigger person. You got to like just talk out your differences, or you just avoid it. Like, what's the purpose?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like if there's like if it can be resolve it.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob, you're probably an overwhelming minority, and I think people should solve their problems, professionally, but at the same time, we're still teenagers at the end of the day, and
I say, Jacob, I do
Well,
agree
yeah,
with you.
yeah. Like I said, you're not gonna think of in that moment. You're not gonna be rational. Like there's no way you can think, oh, let's think back to the rule book 10 seconds before he throws a punch. No, your adrenaline's gonna kick in, your instincts is gonna kick in, and then your body just takes it from there. Your mind is shut down. It's your body at that point,
Combat mode.
pretty much.
Well, even though we are teenagers, I think it just couldn't hurt to at least try. So that's just my intake, though. Thank you.
I think there's a fine line between where violence needs to be a thing and where being professional kicks in. Like, I think a one-on-one conflict is something that you can work out, but like, if for example, if you take in, I know this isn't like fighting, but like countries that disagree with each other, have conflict with each other, you can't really solve that with like professionalism. That's why a lot of wars happen. Not a lot of wars, but this is why wars happen when there's conflicts between two countries, because violence is really like the only answer.
I personally think it's the opposite. Like, your one-on-one situations, you two are the aggressors. You two get hurt. But with when you talk about countries in general, pretty much it's up to the leaders of that country to really talk it out. We elected them as officials, so they should be able to be talk it out. Create peace.
yeah,
I personally like. I understand what you're saying, but I really think it's the opposite because if two people fight or whatever, right? Someone gets hurt, it is what it is, right? But not when we're losing 200, 300 people a day.
Yeah, and did you have a story to share, Smith?
Yeah, I got into 2 fights in 5th grade. It was just stupid. I was just pushing this dude around, and he took it too seriously. That's what happens.
Yeah, it happens like that too. Like some kid in 2nd grade, he was bullying my brother too much. My brother got tired of it, started fighting, and my instincts kicked in, and I'm in 2nd grade. I'm like 8. I started fighting too. Like
Bro, you jumped.
we pretty much jumped. That was the biggest fight I was ever in. It was like 8 people, like, and everyone was just throwing hands for no reason. Like when I think about it now, it could have been solved better, and it was stupid. But like I always say, it is what it is. You have to learn from the past.
Actually, okay. Sorry, I have another story that I'd like to share. So I think Jackson might know about this one. So it was, I don't know the exact backstory, but 2 of my friends just wanted to have like a friendly fight, and this was back in freshman year.
Like slap boxing?
No, it was not. It was not slap boxing.
It was just like with gloves or just
No, it was just
Like a
bare
30,
hands.
like
it was like bare hands,
Something
really terrible 2 kids that don't know how to fight kind of fight. So I don't know why, but so we had a bunch of people get grouped up to watch this fight in the back of a Dollar General, and it was so underwhelming.
Yeah,
It was really bad, but it was entertaining to watch at the same time.
If we're going, like,
Also, I said I had 2 stories, so yeah. This other story, also in 5th grade, I almost fought the teacher. I'm not gonna lie. She like, it all happened because I was in the gifted program, right? In the gifted program, I was supposed to go to the teacher first, and then when they release the gifted kids, I'm supposed to go with the bus loop. But this time, I was cutting up with the substitute or whatever, playing around. So I knew the teacher was probably gonna be mad at me, so I just went to the bus loop. When I came back, I was in a world of hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
Payne.
Yeah. No, she pretty much yelled at me and stuff. She got in my face. She was spitting in my face. Like, you don't got to do that.
They gave me so much trouble with that program. You do not understand. Like from 2nd grade to 5th grade.
I'm not.
No, hold on. But from 2nd grade to 5th grade, that entire struggle trying to get to that bus to go to that program, nah.
Like, what happened?
They just didn't let me. Sometimes the bus would never even come.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why you weren't there sometimes?
I was, the bus just never came, or they just said, don't go.
And
Yeah.
what elementary was this?
I was in Pine Hills Elementary.
What about you?
Rolling Hills. It's a ghetto. You don't know about it. So, yeah.
Bro, what?
Yeah, she threatened to take me out of gifted. I got man stuff, I like, what'd I do? I was about to punch her. I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, it's really just really stupid in my opinion, because there are better ways to solve problems like that. And I really don't think she should have did what she did, like get in my face, like act all hard and stuff, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and we have Jacob here, but before he gets on, I want to go back to Jonathan's story where he was kind of like drawn into a fight, or kind of Smith where he talked about a certain situation where he was just pushing someone and it escalated. So I just wanted to ask you guys, have you ever been in a situation where you got put into a fight that you didn't want to be in?
Not physical, but like verbally, yes. All the time. People, when they want to prove a point, they put your name in things when really in reality your name shouldn't be in that whole conversation. And and then the person that they use your name against, they kind of go back to you. They kind of attack you, and they just create a whole nother big situation because they couldn't keep their mouth shut, pretty much.
I've been a part of some conflicts, as far as I've had people from one side of the conflict and people from the other side of the conflict try to come to me for some advice or some answers or some help. I choose, when it comes to that stuff, I usually just don't choose a side. So I can say that I've never really been drawn into any real like
Yeah.
physical conflict.
But more recently though, like
Wait, someone breathing in the mic?
yeah, it's facts.
Someone breathing?
I'm too far away from mine.
I'm like,
Okay.
I'm looking over here.
That must have been me then. All right, whatever.
So yeah, but like in reality, ever since I got into politics and started like looking at things like more like from a middle point of view, that kind of helped me out. Like actually, it kind of helped me discuss things rationally, be more rational about it, and like not escalate situations. I don't know why, but it helped me. Just kind of like being able to talk it out.
So, so do you think like? Yeah, go ahead, Jacob. Because
Okay, so I have a question to ask you all. Okay, at Ocoee Middle, I mean, I feel like there are very different fight procedures on like how to handle it. Because my 6th grade year, we had Dr. Shanoff still at Ocoee Middle, and the actions he took, in my opinion, to counteract or to, I don't know, punish us, I guess would be the better word, I think was a bit overblown. Because what he would do is, like, let's say there was a fight, wherever, it doesn't matter what grade, what building, what time, doesn't matter. Everyone lost their phone privileges for like a month. I think that was just a bit unfair for everyone, but
The people fighting really wouldn't care. So I mean,
So my question to you is, how do you think schools could better handle fights in a way?
well, I mean, high school at least, only deal with the 2 people involved. Maybe people around it if they don't want to let the administrators through. But other than that, we're not affected by it too much, unless it's like a big brawl like that 2005 one that infamous 2005
Thrown off
brawl.
a balcony.
Bro, I can't
But yeah,
you should
like I was
explain
saying,
that for some people that may
So-
not know.
pretty much at this school when it first opened, there was a big brawl in this school. Pretty much it was massive. People were getting thrown off the balcony here. It was wild.
yes.
But back to what I was saying is that in high school, the only people who really get in trouble are the aggressors and people who are surrounding the fight, right? Because they're pretty much like, in a way, they're escalating the situation because now they got a crowd, now they got to show out. You feel me? So those people are only getting in trouble. In middle school, what they would do is like they would just punish everybody for one person's thing, and that's what's stupid about it because we're not a collective unit. We are individual students.
100% agree.
I think one reason why they, like what Jacob was saying about Dr. Chanoff taking away the phones, is they don't want people recording the fights, and they want people to actually step in and try to break things up instead of just recording. So I think that may have been a reason why they want to take away phones.
You want to say something, Cleveland?
I can't really add too much to that. Like, I remember doing middle school, like that big fight that I was mentioning earlier with the fire extinguisher and all that. They had took away grad venture that year. And I just hated that because, man, that was my best year. I didn't get
That's
into
unfair.
no fights or anything.
Yo, and that brings up an issue that I have is that simply because of 2 people and their decisions, an entire body gets hurt.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Exactly. Like, 6 people fighting in the hallway doesn't give effect to, like, 600
Hundreds,
students.
Yeah, like last night at the Ocoee Evans game, there was about 4 fights that broke out in the stands, and at the let me stop stuttering. With about 3 minutes left in the game, it was just getting chaotic. So we had a 20-minute intermission where the police and Mr. Alderman came to the conclusion everyone get out of the stands except for the parents.
That's unfair.
So we had 20 minutes of no more basketball, and then we had to wait another 10 minutes for the players to get warmed up. Totally killed the momentum of the game. It was a 5-point game with 3 minutes left. Like, you can't just wait 3 minutes just to get the game over with and then go solve your stuff outside. Like, you totally just killed the flow of the game. You hurt everybody's experience here.
Yeah.
What about you, Jax?
I don't know, Jacob. You asked if how things should be handled if there was a fight. I don't know, just like really the people that are involved. I think that's just how it should be handled. If you're really just like taking it out on the whole school, kind of like how last night everyone got kicked out the gym, and then with Cleveland losing grad venture and us losing our cell phone privileges in middle school. I mean, it's pretty stupid. I don't think anyone will really learn from it, but besides, the people that, started everything, but I don't think there's much you can like really do.
And the thing is, the people who started it, they still don't care though.
They don't care. They
Yeah.
literally they get like what 2 weeks off, pretty much a break. Because I'm pretty sure if they're fighting like that in school, their parents really don't care about them. Just putting that out there. I'm gonna be real with you.
And
Like their parents just don't care. They don't care about their school. They don't care about their academics pretty much, and they get a 2 week break. We get our phones taken away. Who really wins in this situation?
let's talk about punishments too. Like how, like Jonathan said, we're more affected by it than the people actually causing the disturbance.
Exactly, because the people who actually cause the situations, they don't care. They fight the fight. If anything, they win. They actually win because they get recognition in the school. They get their name put out there. They get that pride that they get from fighting. They get a 2 week break so they can do whatever they want. They pretty much skip out on homework and everything else. But the people in the school who go there every day, we lose our phone privileges. We lose grad venture. We get kicked out the gym. What?
And what do you guys think the punishment should be? Sorry.
Well, I think we kind of went.
And based off that, what do you guys think the punishment should be for people that start these fights and kind of get everyone else kind of punished?
I think we kind of went over this already with the people that aren't involved. But as far as the people that are involved, maybe more than 2 weeks should be applied.
Maybe like actually in school suspension, because like
or that
if they're in the school, they still have to come here and still have to do their work. They just won't. They're pretty much in a jail, so to say.
Yeah.
So.
I like that. I think that's a good one.
Like maybe we just have like a room just for these kids, and they're just in there.
ISS.
10 days to pass, easy. There you go.
Longer than that.
Longer than that.
Well,
like if
OCPS only allows for 10 days max, I think. Right? Is that correct, Mr. Galt?
Wait, at a time, so it's like they only can serve a consecutive 10 days. Yeah, it would be kind of nice if we come on the mic.
Mr. Gallup, can they
so
do
like, can you serve like 10 days and another 10 days or something like that?
No. The way the current law is interpreted, that you cannot take somebody out of school for more than 10 days, because then you're denying them the right to a free and appropriate education. Now, if they came back after 10 days, got in a fight the next day, then they could do another 10 days, but you cannot go over 2 weeks.
Yep.
Well, we're talking about in-school suspension, so that whole situation.
Well, in-school suspension, they probably would not, again, do more than 2 days, because then you're coming into a law that says is called least restrictive environment. So when you're restricting somebody's motion on campus, you got to have a good reason why. And 10 days would be too much. So, no, they won't go on that, because then somebody could bring out a lawsuit about you're restricting more than necessary.
Yeah, but if you're breaking the code of conduct to a high level, shouldn't that be warranted?
Well, what happens is if it's a high enough level, then, we've had people who have instigated fights who have gotten level 4s and been expelled. It depends on if it caused a major disruption to the school, then that would be a level 4. Or repeated level 3s. If we've got a student now that's out for level 4 that has instigated fights too many times. And so, after a certain number of level 3 fights, they're going to say, well, obviously there's problems here and it's unsafe to have this person in school.
And I want to ask you, Mr. Yelp, is there like a program you can do where you can kind of move these troubled kids to like their own kind of classrooms away from everyone else?
Well, not so much anymore, because the current environment in education is what we call inclusion. In other words, if you move a student out of a regular classroom into a restricted room, then are you restricting their education? So the current thinking is, yes, you are, so we want them as much as possible in the regular classroom, because otherwise they're missing out on learning, the reason that they're here.
But
if a student's behavior is such to the point that it is constantly disruptive, then right now it's a level 4. There used to be a program for students called the Emotionally Handicapped Program, or the Behavioral Disorder Program. In fact, when I started teaching in middle school, that was my job. I did that for about 8 years, teaching those students. But they've kind of moved that away now. They've started putting these folks out in the regular classroom. So not technically. The school does have the power to, ask a student to be arrested and taken out of school. But that does not prevent them, of course, from coming back to school. And if a student were to commit a felony on campus, then that could influence their discipline here at school. But That rarely happens.
See, and that brought up a really good topic too. I don't think students should go to jail. Like I think there's a fine line in between what's like fair and what's too far. Arresting them, that's a little too far. Like unless they have a weapon or something,
Exactly.
it's kind of a little too far putting them
Or
in
if
jail.
or if they're selling like hard meth or whatever.
See, Jonathan, going off that at Robbinswood, this was during my I don't remember what year. I think it was my 7th, but they had to bring a K9 unit onto the school because people were selling hard drugs
In middle school.
It was like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Robbinswood is just.
I remember
like that.
seeing like this dude. You remember the tree right outside the by those houses
Yeah,
when you were walking to the light? This dude was just smoking crack
like
right there on the tree.
yeah. We were walking. There were rabid dogs. There was this one lady's house that everyone used to fight at. She ended up putting a gate, barbed wire. It was just that one house, and she got tired of it.
And I end up shooting a kid if I was her, honestly.
Wah, wah.
I wanted to
Should
ask
probably
you
mark that.
I wanted to
Yeah,
ask
like
you.
that.
You said that kids shouldn't go to jail. Like if they get involved in like a fight, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
So, but usually they're only going to be in jail for like one night.
Even then, I feel like it's too far because now you're giving it into that mindset. Oh, I'm just gonna be here for one night. It's not that bad. So then they do it again. Oh, I'm just gonna be here for 2 nights. It's not that bad. And then they go out into the real world. Oh, I'm only gonna be here for 6 months. It's not that bad. And then it's just gonna be habitual offenses. And then that's not good. That's not good for the mindset.
Okay, this has been the Ocoee High School Stories podcast. I'm your host Trenton with my co-host
Zach.
Jackson.
Cleveland.
Jonathan.
Theo.
and thank you for listening. Miss every shot you don't take.